Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pope.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Pope. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause the times is the man of truth.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Hope your year is going well. I needed to take a little time off. I've been doing that more and more. I get to the point where I just need to consider it is what I'm going to be talking about rather than just rambling needlessly. I think it's important, at least for my peace of mind. Anyway, let's get on with today. Today is the 19th of the month. The 19th of the month. So, a couple of things to notice. If we look over here on the 20th, right there we see the sun is making a transition into Aquarius. So that means today is the last day of the sun sign of Capricorn. We also see that our moon sign has made a transition from Taurus, where shortly after midnight at 12:50 a.m. it went into the void of course period and remained there till 3:13 a.m. where it went into Gemini. So at the present moment, what we still have Capricorn, tarot card of the devil. This is the card that represents the material reality, and it reminds us that we are living in a world that's illusionary. The physical world is illusionary. It's not real. It's not what's going on in the big picture. It's only what's going on in this one phase of reality. And so we remember fire, water, air equals the earth, and that's what's going on. So we're moving past this, and our conscious mind will then be moving to Aquarius, the woman, the feminine aspect of ourselves, the hopefulness that we look forward to as we move into the future. But we'll get into that tomorrow as I continue on with that. So we have the last day of Capricorn, and our moon sign is in Gemini. Gemini is all about communication. It's all about relationships. It's about choices. Now, one thing I want you to notice the difference of, you notice this card here and this card, there's similarities, isn't there? You have three persons, three in each card. The difference is these here are chained to the block of ignorance. These two aren't. These two are looking to the higher self and understanding that there's a bigger picture. Chained to the block of ignorance, this is what we think is going on. Free because we're looking to the higher self, realizing there's more than just a physical reality and we are no longer trapped. So here's our last opportunity to face that side of ourselves, that Capricorn side of ourselves, to understand a bit more what it is, what it's about. Doesn't mean there's evilness with Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. It just simply means we're at a time where dealing with the earth is important, but we need to understand and maintain our spiritual connection. One of the questions that has come to mind in exploring things is, how far do we go with the things that we're studying and the things that we're doing, that we go beyond the boundaries that God has set for us, if indeed there are any? And that's a question that, comes up when dealing with the physical world. So oftentimes people wonder, well, if they make a certain amount of money, are they going to be less spiritual? If they have a certain career, are they going to be less spiritual? If they study a certain subject, is that going to make them less spiritual? You know what came to mind? You know what makes a person less spiritual? Not the amount of money you make, not the career you have, not the subjects you study. The thing that makes you less spiritual is disconnecting from spirit. It's that simple. Disconnecting from spirit. So if we maintain our connection and we look at all of these different ideas and careers and systems of wealth on this planet, we can appreciate all of these things while at the same time maintaining our connection with spirit. And therefore we bring a different ideal to each one of these different things that we're trying to work on. You see, things in the world can be good or bad, depends on how we use them. If we're connected to spirit and we're using the tools that we have, we're going to use them differently than if we're not connected to spirit. And as beings down here upon this earth, really everything we're doing or using is basically a tool. Whether it's a subject that we're learning because it's a tool that's going to help our mind. If it's a career, it's a tool we're using to help us bring something into our lives, resources. If it's money we're using, it's a tool to help us get the things that we want to get. They're all tools. Tools in the hand of the person wielding that tool. So, are you connected to spirit or are we not? That seems to be the bottom line. And if we're connected to spirit, then studying these things would seem to be important because it helps us to understand. It's like going to a sports event. You have two teams playing each other, but during the course of time, before that game, you know what the teams are doing? Studying each other, studying the opponent. Because by studying the opponent, you understand what the opponent's moves are to try to take over, to try to win, to try to, involve itself in a situation more than necessary. And so if we understand what the opponent is trying to do, we can then stop it. It's very important. So our spirituality depends on our willingness to connect to spirit or disconnect to it. I think it's that simple. Something I've been thinking about for a while. Just thought I'd bring that through. So here we are on the last day, getting ready to go out of Capricorn into the next sign, Aquarius. The one aspect that we have coming up today takes place this evening at 5:09 p.m. and it involves Gemini, communication, and Neptune. Neptune says we need to take a new perspective on things. In tarot cards, Neptune represents the hanged man, suspending the mind. So our communication is at a square with our ability to see things in their proper perspective. And so we're reminded, take a new look at things. Look at things from other directions, other perspectives. And as we do so, we'll start to see that our communication will open up because we've seen things differently. Okay, it helps us to get out of this box of thinking that we sometimes get locked into. Okay, there's our wheel for anyone who needs to look further, understand that. Moon phase for today. We are past the quarter of the moon, which happened on the 16th, and we're making our way to a full moon, which is going to occur on the 23rd. So we're only days away from that. Right now, we're 78.2% of the way there. On the Jewish calendar, day is the month of Shavat, and it's the 9th day. So 9 Shavat, and the daily thought for today is feminine bread. A man's way is to serve your impoverished soul ideas. Perhaps you will be wise enough to translate those ideas into deeds. But a woman goes straight for the stomach and the core. She tells you, this is who you are, and this is what you must do to be who you are. My oracle, or Dreamspell oracle, it's a 5-tone day. It's in the wave spell of the hand, which is all about accomplishment. So we're at the 5th position there, radiating what we've learned in these first 5 days. See, the hand can heal, the hand can kill. Depends how we're going to use the hand. Again, it goes back to that free will choice of what are we going to do with it? How are we going to use our hands? And now we're learning about the playfulness, radiating out the playfulness, because we've gone from the hand, the star to shine bright, the purification of our ideas, nurturing ourselves with love and the loyalty that we have to ourselves and to life itself, and then finally now playfulness. Because we can't get so serious in life. We need to be a bit more playful, and in remembering the playfulness, we help to see through the illusion, because this is what this is also about, playing to see through the illusion. The phrase for today is I empower in order to play, commanding illusion. I seal the process of magic with the overtone, tone of radiance. I'm guided by the power of self-generation. Space weather, solar wind currently at 367.3 kilometers per second. Planetary K index is between a 3 and a 4 at the moment. We have one large corona hole on the bottom. It's sighted to send wind our way about the 22nd. So that's Thursday, Friday. M-class flare possibility sits at 1. X-class at 1. Geomagnetic storm activity seems to be subsiding. It was 35% in the mid-latitudes, dropping down to 30, 15 to 10 in the minor range. In the high latitudes, looks like we're dropping down from 45 to 40 from a severe standpoint and staying steady otherwise. So that's what's going on there. Up in the sky tonight here, Tuesday the 19th. Here's what we're looking at. The dark limb of the waxing gibbous moon occults Aldebaran this evening for most of North America. Okay, so we're looking right here. So we got the moon and then Aldebaran. And it says the moon occults, means it hides it. It means it's back here. We're not necessarily going to see it because it's behind it. Okay, simply hidden, that's all. Up to the right, we see the Pleiades, and we're going to be talking about the Pleiades today. And just below the moon, we have Orion. Down here, we have Orion's belt. Okay. Here's an article I wanted to bring up because it ties right into what's going on. 5 worlds to align in a planetary parade starting January 20th for a month. Stargazers will be able to catch a rare space show this month as 5 planets are due to align, although they'll have to wake up early to see it. According to Earth's sky, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter will swing across the sky January 20th for about a month. It's the first time in more than a decade that the stellar positioning will be visible with the naked eye from Earth. Those seeking to get a glimpse of all the planets are advised to look out for the brightest moon, Venus, before drawing an imaginary line east to west, linking up with the ring Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter. Okay. So it says 70 minutes before sunrise tomorrow morning. And here's what we're going to be seeing. Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Mars, Antares, okay? Mercury, the closest planet to the Sun, will join up with the other 4 celestial orbs west of Venus on the 20th of January. The best time to see the alignment is 60 to 90 minutes before sunrise. At first, there will be only a narrow window of opportunity to spot the dim Mercury. The planet will then become clearer as it rises on the horizon during the month of February. Researchers at Swinburne University in Melbourne, Dr. Alan Duffy, told Australian Geographic that the phenomena is essentially a quirk of the universe as the 5 planets have different yearly cycles. Okay, so Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter. So that's what we're going to be seeing over the next month. So if you're a sky watcher, there is something to look forward to. That is what's going on with the cosmic weather. UFO news is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, here we go. UFO news. I've got 6 stories. First story here. This was a giant cross that appeared in the sky above Michigan. And this just happened a couple days ago on the 13th. What we have from here is just a picture. This was the image right here. Doesn't need any other words other than this. That kind of says a lot. Where did that come from? It's a good question. What is it about? Well, I think we can understand what the meaning is. Next, we have dark UFO volcano Mount Popocatepeti, Mexico, January 16th. All right, so we know about this volcano. You can watch live webcam of this every single day. I've got the webcam linked, firstcontactradio.com. So people are catching things all the time. Here's even the link, webcamsdemexico.com. And here's our little object right there. Closer up view. It says I was going through the archive for Popocatepeti when I found this object near the mouth of the volcano. UFOs distortion around it like many UFOs due to the propulsion systems. Okay. So there you go. So if you ever want to check out what's going on, this link is available. You can go right firstcontactradio.com, click on the link, and you can just sit there, get your popcorn, and just watch. Watch the webcam. It will refresh, and you'll get an opportunity to see if there's anything there. Maybe you might catch something yourself. You never know. You never know. Things happen. I've seen things when I've gone there looking. Okay, here we have a UFO chased by a jet over Bulgaria. This took place on the 14th. Jet and unidentified object of some sorts. Nova Zagorba, Bulgaria. Here's an interesting incident that occurred a few days ago in Bulgaria. The UFO was seen over the farm near some very tall power lines, was being monitored by the military aircraft. Seems not to be in any kind of hurry to move, and the jet seems like there's only there to identify the craft to those back at base. Source says fighter jets were chasing a UFO over Nova Zagora. Military planes chasing an unidentified flying object near Nova Zagora yesterday afternoon. Reader of Portal 12 provide pictures with unique footage. The machines were flying at very low altitude in the area above the village of Gaz. Zagotorsi collected and hand Asperhova yesterday afternoon. There are numerous witnesses. Within about 5 minutes, the object is sharply changed its course, its location, which has caused the spectacular maneuvers on the part of the two military aircraft. Okay. And remember, in Bulgaria, that story about the finding in the cave there, the giant hall that was under there? Whether that story is true or not, it took place out in the area of Bulgaria, out in the mountains there. So, very interesting indeed. Is this connected? I have no idea. Just thought I'd bring up and remind you of that other. Video show a UFO getting hit by lightning above Austria. A UFO sighting video that apparently shows mysterious aerial object getting struck by lightning in a New Year's Eve party in Austria has gone viral on the internet. Student Marie Maya has reportedly recorded the video in the Maastrichtal area of Lower Austria. Since it was posted on January 1st, the video has been spread wide across the internet and published on YouTube, as well as several other UFO-related pages. The video starts casually showing a group of young people dancing, drinking, fireworks. Camera pans up, follows a rocket as the glowing orb gets struck by lightning, and the camera pans down again, showing shocked faces of the crowd appearing to question what they have just witnessed. There you go. Okay, so that was pretty much it. Let me see if I can back up to the actual lightning strike. I got to back further right here. Almost. One more try. There we go. Okay, there's a UFO. All right, you can click on it. You can see it. I'm moving on. I'm moving on, man. Moving on. Amazing UFO fleet caught on tape over Mudgee, Australia. Here we have apparent night vision that's being used. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 objects being sighted. Interesting footage of an identified flying objects, a group of them, across the sky above Mudgee in South Wales, Australia. This happened on the 15th of January. Laszlo Novak. He catches a lot of different sightings. So there we go. We got a whole grouping of them there. These aren't just lens flares. These are something more, something in the sky, actually. Unidentified because, well, I don't know what they are, other than little dots flying across the screen. All right, then moving on to one last story here. This one is quite fascinating. This was taken from a plane. These are clouds right here, and whatever this is, it appears to be standing on the clouds. Giant alien figure walking on clouds, viewed from plane. Okay, the giant alien walking in the clouds could be an energy being trying to mimic human form using the clouds. What better way to study something than to mimic its appearance? The witness says, there the news states, Mr. O'Donoghue, however, said that he believes the figure resembled the Michelin Man. He said, I was flying back to work on a ski trip to Austria. I was on the window seat with 2 work colleagues beside me. They were talking like crazy, and I was gazing out the window as you do. I could see this figure in the distance in front of us, and as we flew closer, the shape appeared. I asked the ladies beside me to look in case I was seeing things. They too were amazed. I then took some pictures, and then the aircraft slowly passed it. It was in view for about 2 minutes, as it was a good bit away in the distance. To me, it looked like the Michelin Man, but to be honest, I have no idea what it was. Some comments online said it was smokestacks below, and the heat pushed up from the layer of clouds, but I don't think so, as they look very close together. Probably just a funky cloud formation, but I'd love for someone who knows about clouds to see it and try to explain it. In October, thousands of people claimed they had seen a floating city. Okay, so there's their object. Certainly looks like something is walking across the clouds, doesn't it? Here's probably our more close-up shot right there. Definitely something moving across the clouds. So, quite fascinating. What do you think that is? Do you think that's real? Do you think this is just a figment of the imagination, just a strange gathering of clouds? I mean, it really looks like it is some sort of bipedal being standing up there. What was the show where guy was flying on the plane and he saw the thing outside the wing? You know which one I'm talking about. Anyway, that's it. That's the UFO news for today. I'll be back and we shall continue on, so stay tuned. Let's listen to, how about if we wake up? That's a good one for today. What do you think? Waking up, but it's not even here. All right, we'll do this.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Great Spirit, send down your love, send down your love.
continue on. So, before I get into this next story here, I am very appreciative that you take time to watch the show. I'm very appreciative of the comments, the emails I get. Very, very appreciative, and I'm glad to engage in discussion with anybody that wishes to engage in discussion. But there is one thing that I do not tolerate, and if you've been listening and watching the show long enough, you understand. And that's people who are trying to be bullies. People show up from time to time. Maybe they're shills, maybe they're not. Maybe they've just had a bad day and they decide to leave a comment that is rather negative. And I don't quite understand the trend that goes on, how somebody can go to a site and just decide that they're going to spew negativity at the person because they weren't satisfied with the information that they got. And this happens more often than not on forums and videos and so on. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, I think it's kind of ridiculous, and if possible, I just usually delete those. I'm not somebody who likes to get into editing your posts and your comments. I usually 90% of the time put them up there, but there's that small percentage of time where someone puts a rude comment up and I just delete it. And I delete it for a couple of reasons, because one, I'm not going to have you bashing me. There's no need for it. And second, some of the comments seem to bash the people who come to this channel to watch the programming. And I'm certainly not going to allow that as well, because I feel protective of those who come to this show to watch what's going on here. So if you think you're going to bash me or you think you're going to bash people on the show, think again. And when you're so cowardice that you make a comment and you don't have a way that somebody can return a comment back to you at your page because you have your comments disabled, what's the point? Seems then all that you are is a person out there in the world spewing negativity for some reason, and we could do without that. So send your comments. Just don't send hate comments, because I really have no interest in those whatsoever, and I'm pretty certain that people who listen to the show on a regular basis have no interest in that either. Other than that, let's have a great discussion about things. Pose your questions. Let me know what you're thinking, what you'd like to learn about if you don't feel you're learning something properly. There's a lot of information here that is different than you're going to get on other shows. Why? Because the approach that I take is different. My approach, I lead with spirituality. I lead with spirit, because that's what it's all about. That this is the illusion, okay? And that spirit is the reality. And if we lead with spirit, I believe that we will get to where we need to get, because that's the secret to everything. That if we cut ourselves off from spirit, then we truly feel as if we're trapped in a state of ignorance because we don't know any better. And that's when this occurs. So I think we need to allow spirit to play itself out in our lives more. We need to allow great spirit to shine brightly in our lives, because if not, we're going to have a whole lot of problems. You know, we're all in this together on this planet. All of us. There's nobody here that's immune from what's taking place on the planet. And it doesn't matter if you're a great leader of this anywhere in the world, or if you're just a nobody in the world. Everybody is going to be affected by the changes that are going on. And so we need to learn to get along with each other in a much better way. That means whites and blacks need to get along with each other, people of different genders, people of different political ideas, everybody. It doesn't mean we need to accept the ideas that are stupid, because we need to be smarter. We're having a whole issue of stupidity taking place in the world, and insanity that we seem to be following, and we need to stop that. But we certainly are only going to do that when we come together in understanding. We let too many things divide us. Politics divide us, and so we allow it to divide us, and we believe these politicians, but they're not being honest with us. And it just takes a little trip down history's lane to be able to understand the lies that have been told to us. So if we don't come together and figure this out, then we're screwed. And that's really the bottom line, my friends. So let's put aside the bickering. Let's put aside the nonsense of all the things that don't freaking matter. And let's pay attention to the things that do. The earth that we live on is crying and screaming out for us. It's in pain. It needs us to come together to help heal the planet. And we can do that with our minds, by coming together and realizing the error of our ways. All we need to do is step back and look at what's going on, and we realize we've poisoned our planet, we've poisoned our waters, we're poisoning our air, we're putting ideas of insanity into the schools and the children. We're misteaching them because of power struggles. We've got one problem after another. You know, Common Core, this thing that's going out there, it's now being discovered by those who have continued to research that Common Core has nothing to do with teaching the children. It had everything to do with selling books. Selling books. And so children across America for how many years have been taught this nonsensical system of learning, which has nothing to do with learning, but everything to do with selling books. We've just dumbed down how many years worth, of education. So those kids have been dumbed down. We're going to have to do something to bring ourselves back from this, because we've dumbed ourselves down quite a bit. So we need to come together, my friends, to figure this out, because we are all here on this earth. And believe it or not, there is a battle between good and evil taking place. And the evil uses illusion to try to win over the people. And the people have to learn not to be so gullible to buy into the illusions, because they buy into it left and right. And when we buy into the illusions, therein lies the problem, because then we believe that the thing that we are being shown is actually real when it's not. And we can just simply, again, go down history and go down and realize we've been lied to over and over and over again. So we need to figure it out, my friends, all of us, not just some of us, all of us, because we are all here together. Now, the beauty of all of this is that as we listen and understand the changes that have taken place, we understand that there has been a changing, a separation that has taken place, and we do have an opportunity to decide where we're going to be. We can go and be in all the negativity if that's what we choose, or we can go and be in the positivity if that's where we choose. And at this point, it's up to us which way we want to go. Which version of reality do we want to continue to see manifest? And I know that there's people on both sides of the fence here. So just something to be aware of, the changes that we're going through. And we all need to make some sort of an effort in this. All of us. I'm included in all of that. All of us are trying to make this world a better place. And we're only going to do so if we make an effort to do so. And sometimes we have to make an effort to stop doing the things and listening to the things that are going to hurt us. Okay? Okay. So that's my little spiel for the moment. Here's an article I just want to bring your attention to. Here's some of the earth changes going on. We had 2 big volcanoes just went off. Major evacuations have been sparked by the simultaneous eruption of 2 volcanoes, including one of the world's most feared, spewing toxic gas and ash clouds for miles. The 2 volcanoes are thousands of miles apart, but are on the edge of the same tectonic plate, the Philippine plate, sparking fears of a major seismic shift, more volcanic activity, and even earthquakes and tsunamis. More than 1,200 people have been evacuated from within a 1.9-mile containment zone around Mount Urgan in Kupang, eastern Indonesia, one of the most volcanic parts of the globe. It was followed moments later by the eruption of Zupanovsky on Russia's east coast, which spewed lava 5 miles into the air. The later explosion is likely to affect air traffic in Russia, But the huge ash cloud is also drifting east over the Pacific Ocean, so the impact on flights could be much worse. In Asia, officials distributed thousands of gas masks to villagers. Around the volcano on the eastern Flores Island amid fears of a major volcanic eruption as the choking fumes worsened. All residents living within the containment zone have been ordered to evacuate, while roads being in traffic have been closed. Right, so Earth changes. Now, if we look at the Earth and realize the Earth is connected to us as a people, then we look and we realize the Earth is releasing energy that has been pent up, built up. And that is what's going on with individuals, releasing pent up energy. Just we need to understand the connections that we have to the Earth, and that the problems that the Earth have go hand in hand with the problems that we have. And when we could solve the problems we have, we begin to treat the Earth differently, and we find that the Earth itself will behave differently. Remember, this is our home. So why are we destroying our home with all of the poisons and the problems? Makes no sense to me. And it seems that anyone leading us into a destruction of this, seems to me that they're not on the side of good. Okay. So the subject I want to get onto here for a little bit is the subject of the Pleiadians. I'm just going to jump right in. I've got a site here. It's the Pleiadian book. It's not a real book. It's just a collection here of things. You can find this over at bibliotecads.net. bibliotecapleyades.net. The link's available at First Contact Radio. Anyway, this gets into the channelings of Barbara Marciniak. Barbara J. Marciniak was a student of metaphysics for many years. She gives credit to the Seth material channeled by Jane Roberts for her insight into the necessity for conscious, intentional creation of a personal experience. In Athens, Greece, May of 1919, you don't see the beginning date, she began channeling the Pleiadians after she and a group of friends attended a spiritual awakening in the Great Pyramid at Giza. Barbara currently lives in Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay, so let's just jump into it, the introduction here. Awakening. Good evening. We are your ancient family. We come from the star system, the Pleiades. We know ourselves as the Pleiadians, and we, eons ago, millions of years ago, were your relatives. When your Earth sphere Terra was being formed, there were many who expressed an interest in the pioneers and to go to a new area to learn, to experience, to formulate, to create. That was the opportunity, and many of our dearly beloved Pleiadians signed on. The Pleiadian culture is ancient. It was seeded from another universe, a universe of love, a universe that moved back to all that is. The Pleiadians seeded the Pleiadian star system within the universe before the Earth's sphere transfer became available. We formed a tremendous society. We operate with love. We operate with ideas and ideals that are totally unfamiliar with. You are totally unfamiliar with. Our technology, in your terms, would be somewhat similar. We are, in your terms, computerized. We like that term because it represents an overall picture of our abilities. The picture actually only represents 1% of what we are capable of doing. However, from your point of view, think of us as a computerized society. We are collective energy. We are not of your dimension. The star system of the Pleiades has 7 stars, 6 of which we believe you may see from the naked eye. There are many planets, and we are millions upon millions of miles from your system. Though we have transportation that can bring us here very quickly, we have many modes of transportation. Most of us come in starships, often motherships. The motherships are gigantic, one of your miles housing thousands. They are elongated, one of our fashions, and would take, in your terms, days to transport itself here. We have disk ships which can be here quickly within portions of your day. We have difficulty at times translating your time system, your hours, your minutes, into what is relative to our system, perhaps less than 1/4 of your day. We are an advanced civilization. Our technology is ancient because it is coming from another universe that has evolved back to first cause. We chose not to evolve back to first cause because to go on out of love to assist the growth of this universe. We are allowed to bring that knowing with us because our technological development is totally in line with the first cause, and we would never operate in any fashion that did not support the love and development of humanity, of all creatures in all of this universe. So we were allowed to be here. We were welcomed. We are the ambassadors in this star system, in this universe from another universe. We are working with many, not just with Terra, the Earth. We are working in other solar systems with other planetary creatures, with other creations. The universe is a vast and new experiment. Different options, we like that word, are being attempted here. Free will reigns in this universe. On Terra, you think you have free will, but you do not really understand what free will is. Free will encompasses the complete idea that whatever it is that you are wanting, you may have. And your sole point in choosing to partake in the planetary system within the universe that has free will was so that you may do whatever it is that you wish. Terra was formed with specific intents in mind. It was formed to be the center of the solar system, a trade center, a launching pad for ideas, much like as different positions of your globe have developed and different port cities of areas came into fashion or represented trends, cultural advancements, exchanges of ideas at different points in time, and then fell by the wayside. The ideal of Terra's role would be the jewel within the universe for its beauty physically to the eye, and the physical beauty would be beheld not just in one dimension, but in many. That it would be the center of tremendous beauty, of tremendous exchange, of freedom of ideas and beauty and love and people, humanity. Creatures from the universe and star system ideally would have come here and exchanged what it is they had as goods would be exchanged in the marketplace with others. Now, as you know, that has not taken place. Fortunately, this is changing. Unfortunately, eons in your past, events occurred that were not anticipated, and when one deals with free will, one never knows. There are no expectations with free will, just intentions and hopes, and even intentions sometimes become transmuted. Now, that was the original intention. Then, eons ago, millions of years ago, there was a disruptive force that became quite pronounced in this area of creation, experimenting as it would be with another form of being. This experimenting was not evil, it was just another point of view. We speak in very neutral terms so as not to lay blame or prejudice on anyone. This disruptive force affected Terra greatly. It threw the cosmic forces, the hierarchies into vast confusion, and it has been all of these eons, these millions of years, that has been attempted to be righted. Now, through the last thousands of years, we have been assisting the higher spiritual forces, those from first cause. Our assistance we freely gave because original family members came to this experiment of Terra, and when those disruptive energies became prevalent and changed the intent of what Terra would be, we lost contact with our family members. It was very sad for us, for we never anticipated this loss. Being that we as Pleiadians are highly involved and of great knowing and great connectiveness with the first cause, we knew that this was a temporary loss of family members, though temporary in our terms was millions of years, and though the initial shock was felt literally throughout the universe and universes, we formulated a plan and knew that there would be a time when we would be reunited. We are your family members who lost contact with you eons ago. We have come to retrieve you. We have come to reestablish contact, to assist you so that you can now reunite with us. Liberate yourselves and choose to come back to the Pleiades, or stay here on Terra and raise the vibrations and allow Terra to become what is originally planned to become, the International Exchange, Intergalactic Trade Exchange Center for the universe. Now, as you may well know, that upon looking at your planet, you can shake your head and say, goodness, we have ventured far from our original goal. And indeed, that is true, you have. However, at this time, events are manifesting on your planet that are about to change all of that. It was known eons ago that there would be a point when the energies would be ripe for contact, for adjustments, for receiving energy, for realignment. It was hoped that the juncture would be reached through the opening of free will bodies by their own choice, through love. That is not the case. You have reached critical times. It began peaking 30 to 40 years ago, and the activities have been occurring on that sphere have been a grave concern for all of the universe. The lack of love for humanity, for one another on this planet, separation of self from self, the missing of the message that you are all one, that you are all connected, and what one does affects the other. Know that there are many millions on the planet of the billions who are awakened, who are moving towards the enlightenment, moving towards the acknowledgement of the first cause in whatever minuscule way they can conceive of this vast entity. What is happening on your planet at this time is that the energy of the first cause is being presented to the planet as a whole. When we say as a whole, there are no groupings that would be select over others. The opportunities exist for everyone. It is the individual humanity's choice to acknowledge the opportunity that presents itself. The awakened ones will be assigned, so to speak, to awaken someone. First creator energy is now being made available to the planet on a vast level. Vast. It's encircling the sphere. Light frequency is bombarding your planet, though those who know how to use this energy can feel it as an invisible force in your lives. As you are not aware of this invisible force, you will not see it. Now, if the awakening approaches the awakenees with love, with intent of service, with intent of changing the planetary potential, the planetary history, we are also willing to bond conditionally to the awakenee. It will be successful. In most cases, those who need now to be awakened are working about this in their dream state and are in a state of confusion in the waking world, so they are welcoming something that will give them greater power and direction. The awakenees will need guidance for a short amount of time because the energy that is available, but the knowledge of will happen very quickly, and they too will awaken and power others. The more members, the greater members of humanity that are in knowing, the easier the times ahead will be. We are working sitting on the edges of our seats. When we say our, we mean our beings, the star individuals, the star families, the spirit guides, the ascended masters, the callers from the great cause, the first cause. There are many here. The skies, the atmosphere are full, so to speak, of who we are, keeping terror in force, keeping alive, vibrant, glowing, and representing our free will at the same time. That is why we say the awakenings are so important at this time. They are prime concern. Individual awakenings, word of mouth, is the best way of accomplishing what needs to be accomplished. Word of mouth, books are fine, tapings are fine, but one individual loving another liberates, frees, and that individual goes off and creates and affects many others. This is how the process will occur as we see it. We stated earlier that Terra is a free will district along with the entire universe. However, there is a code of honor that exists along with free will, and that code of honor represents the respect for life, all of life, the respect and the commitment to no violation of life. The honoring of life is paramount, and allowing that life. Okay, you see there's a lot more here. I'm going to leave it because I think you get the idea of what this opening is about. And I'm going to move on to this channeled message, which is from the Pleiades. So you can hear this message here yourself. There we go. Pleiades.
Pleiadian Guides.
January 15th, 2016, by Trovan Alexander O'Hare.
2016, the year of love.
Namaste, dear friends and family. For all who choose to follow love and to flow with life with no resistance, this will be a very interesting and surprising year for you all, and all others as well. However, to all of those that see these changes as an apocalyptic event, they will be faced with much fear and resistance in this coming year. Beginning on the night of New Year's Eve, an angelic being or energy known as Metatron has for the first time ever on Earth, opened the Metronian star portal. This portal began at midnight of New Year's Eve. The significance of the Metronian star is one of enhanced psychic abilities and taking control of your fifth dimensional abilities. The Metronian star is an advanced geometrical version of what many know as the pentagram. The pentagram has been a very misunderstood and feared symbol for many decades. And the only reason this symbol has been misused for dark purposes is because it's the intention behind the use of the symbol. The pentagram, inverted pentagram, hexagon, and more are not evil in their nature, but they can be abused in those ways because of the powerful manifestation energies that these stars contain. So, all superstitions aside, the opening of the Metronian star is bringing you the energies of manifestation of your God-given higher dimensional abilities, whether it be healing, channeling, teaching, mind reading, etc. And there is no limit to the amount of abilities you can master. Eventually you all will master all of these abilities for yourself. But that purely is of your own choice. The Metronian star does not force these abilities, but is a Stargate portal opening that is available to you if you please. Many of you may have noticed the last few weeks, that these strange coincidences and synchronicities have been happening more than usual. This is the effect of the Metronian Stargate. Reach out, know what you want to master, and ask for it. Once you set the intention, the unfoldment of your abilities will manifest. It will not be overnight, but as long as there is the intention, you can rest easy knowing that your wishes will manifest as long as they come from a place of pure love. So dear ones, this is our message of guidance. During your meditations, focus on what you wish to develop, and use the affirmation.
I call to the karmic forces, I call to the wide ruling powers, make smooth the way that my wishes may come to me. As above, so below, the clearest truth, I will know. Make my heart blaze and shine, to manifest the life that will be mine. Guiding spirits, guide and protect me in this journey, and help me to awaken the God within.
We love you so very much, brothers and sisters of light. If only you could see yourself the way we do, you would see the light of creation emanating from every cell in your body. And the light aura that surrounds you now is more beautiful than you can comprehend. The lighter you become, and the closer you get to unconditional love, a golden white light radiates from the core of your souls. A prism of colors that do not exist on your physical realms. It's as if we are trying to explain a color that does not exist on in your world. Such beauty and grace we see, and your work here will never be forgotten. Namaste, beautiful souls.
Trevin, thank you spirit guides for this message you shared.
Alright, good message. Good message. So, kind of ties in with, with what I was saying. We're all in this together, and we have an opportunity before us. All of these things around us are just tools, and we have an opportunity to use the tools of life. And we have free will to decide how we're going to do it, whether we're going to do it being connected to spirit, to God, or whether we're going to be disconnected. And that's really what it's all about. And I think if we just simply remember that, I think that will help us quite a bit. We need to get over the bickering over all of the nonsense that we bicker over, because there's much bigger things going on in the world than the things that we are arguing over. All right, here's our meditation for today. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. And another breath. And exhale. Now I want you just to imagine that as you explore inside of yourself, that you see all sorts of opportunities and possibilities. As you explore inside yourself, you find that there's a world connected to other realms and dimensions, much different than that when we have our eyes open exploring the physical world. And we realize that if we go inside, that the ability to make the changes become a reality. For all changes occur inside, whether it be our thoughts, our emotions, or the actions we will take. So we think and allow ourselves to bring forth into our mind's eye that which we wish to manifest in the world. And we just hold that idea in our mind's eye and simply know that by focusing intently upon that, we shall help to manifest into the world the things and that which we would like to manifest. And when we look past the material reality of the world, we find that there are things much bigger, much more important than materiality. And we realize that by manifesting love into the world, we make the world a better place. By manifesting positivity into the world, we make the world a place filled with people that are strong and positive. And through all of these positive changes and ideas, the world becomes brighter and lighter. The more we allow divinity, God, to be expressed in life, the more that we find that life shines brightly. For life cannot exist without God. So let's imagine ourselves connecting right now with this spiritual force that is around us, in us. Let's imagine this connection taking place and the oneness that we feel being connected with this source of all life. Whether you refer to it as God or Great Spirit, Divine Providence, matters not. Simply that you understand the power of this presence in your life. So let's just imagine ourselves going through the world today, sending out light and love to all those that we see, doing so silently, just allowing those energies of love and light just to be expressed. And as we send out light and love, let's just imagine that this light and love goes out and makes changes in the people that are affected by it. Let's imagine this light cleansing darkness out of each and every individual that it touches, and love filling up the space to remove all hatreds and angers and feelings of disconnection. And let's let the subconscious mind continue on this journey, just sending out light, sending out love, sending out positivity. And let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3 coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1 coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale, and open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's the show for today. I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to continue on the rest of this week with the information on the Pleiades, because I think that information is important. I've told you many times that that is the place where I come from. I know that it is the place where many of you come from as well. And therefore, by hearing the words that are channeled through, oftentimes it reminds us of what it is that we need to remember. So there you have it. That's the show for today. Thanks for being here. I'll be back tomorrow. Have yourselves an awesome day. I love you. Keep loving each other, and I will talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.